This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Good Tuesday morning. Time now is 4:27. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. Happening overnight, there was a fire and two families are without a home at this hour, and that was at a duplex there.
Yeah, this all happened on West McCarty Street, west of Harding Street. The good news is no injuries reported in this fire. All 5 people living inside did get out, as well as that cat and that gerbil that you see right there. The home, unfortunately, is a total loss. Authorities are still trying to figure out how this fire started.
And also happening overnight, dozens of shots were fired. This happening on the northwest side at an apartment complex, Fisherman's Village.
Yeah, and the scary situation out of all of this is many of those bullets hit that apartment. Police are now trying to figure out if there was a person who was a target, if someone was just firing a gun. What exactly happened here? The good news, no injuries, but again, dozens of shell casings found there at the scene. Police trying to figure out what exactly happened there on the northwest side. Taking a turn now, meteorologist Todd Clausen here. We are going to have a nice day today, and we deserve it.
Finally.
Yeah, you know, and we're really going to string a couple really nice days together. There's some small rain chances tomorrow, but very small. But today, it's absolutely beautiful. You can feel the difference as you walk out the door this morning. The humidity is down a little bit. Temperature is very comfortable in the 60s, 64 in Kokomo, 61 in Logansport, 62 in Indianapolis. And once again, for a change, we do not have any rain on radar. Yesterday morning, we didn't. We built in the showers throughout the day. Today, that is not going to happen. Mostly sunny skies throughout the entire day. 84 is our normal high temperature this time of year, so it's a nice seasonable day. So start making those outdoor plans. We'll talk more about the extended forecast, and by the end of the week, we're talking about 90s. So everybody that's been looking for this summer-like feel,
it's coming.
You'll get your taste of it here later this week.
All right, Todd, thank you. Well, unfortunately, because we've had all that rain, we have standing water, and standing water equals mosquitoes. It is officially mosquito season here in central Indiana. I've got the proof from this weekend. Bug bites all over me. Our Aaron Lish, though, is going to talk with experts about what you need to know to avoid these bites, how to keep your family safe. You know, a lot of times people just think, oh, these mosquito bites are a bit of an inconvenience, but they can lead to other more serious health problems. They can also impact your pets as well. So once again, our Aaron Lish is talking to the experts how to keep your family, your home, your pets safe this summer with all those mosquitoes buzzing about. We've got that story plus more news, weather, and traffic here to start your Tuesday morning.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
An overnight fire forces 2 families out of their homes. Right now on Good Morning Indiana, what firefighters say about the cause of that fire.
Plus, a teacher at Cathedral High School in a same-sex marriage is without a job. This morning, we're hearing from a former Cathedral student on why the firing goes against the values he learned in the classroom.
And should the parents of bullies be fined? Why one Indiana group says it'll help give the state's bullying law more substance. It's 4:30 on your Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. Elena Martella here with us this morning, of course, keeping a close eye on those roads. But first, we want to start with Storm Team 6 meteorologist Todd Clausen. Todd, you're saying today is going to be a nice day to get outside.
Yeah, great day. There's no rain chances in the forecast. Temperatures are seasonable. You know, we get the temperature up into the mid-80s, but no humidity. So, it's finally the day we've been waiting for, and we deserve it here across central Indiana. As you walk out the door this morning, the temperature that sits at 62 degrees currently officially at the airport in Indianapolis, and all across central Indiana you find temperatures in the 60s. We're all in the same air mass, so temperatures aren't really going to differ a whole lot across the area. 61 in Lafayette, 61 in Crawfordsville and Greencastle, 64 in Tipton and Richmond, 68 in Muncie, although I feel like that thermometer in Muncie always runs a couple degrees warmer than it should be across the area. The radar is nice and quiet. We had some stronger storms once again last night as the cold front went through, but look off to our west. There's There's not a whole lot going on. Some showers near Omaha. A couple of those could sneak into far northern Indiana later on this afternoon, but they shouldn't miss us here in central Indiana. So it's a great pool day for you. You don't have to worry about lightning. You can jump in. Make sure you put that sunscreen on, though. You have high UV indexes out there right now. 78 degrees by the noon hour. Our high temperature gets up to 84 degrees. So make sure you get out there and enjoy. We'll talk about the heat that builds in by the end of the week in just a few minutes. But at 4:31, let's get a look at the traffic situation on this Tuesday morning. Here's Elena.
All right, thank you, Todd. Not too much happening on the roads right now. Coming in from this northwest side, heading southbound on I-65 from I-865 down to I-70. Should run you about 17 minutes, so traffic's flowing just fine right now. Let's take a look at the roads. Here's a look at that stretch. I-65 just south of 38th Street. You can see everything's flowing. The roads are dry. Let's take a turn down to the south side. I-65 at I-465. Dry roads, all moving up to speed. Should be smooth sailing if you're heading out the door.
Elena, thank you. New overnight flames forced 2 families out of their homes on the city's west side. The fire started around 12:30 this morning in a duplex on West McCarty Street near Harding Street. Thankfully, all 5 people living in the duplex, along with the cat and gerbil, got out safely. Fire crews tell us the building is now a total loss. There's no word yet on what may have started the fire.
A press conference is expected today in the death of a Girl Scout attending a camp in southern Indiana. Police say the camper and 3 others who were seriously injured were pinned under a tree after it fell at Camp Cook in Canonsburg. That's near Tell City in Perry County. The Perry County Sheriff's Office says the tree fell around 11:30 local time yesterday afternoon. Girl Scouts of Southwest Indiana own Camp Cook. They issued a statement saying, in part, Girl Scouts of Southwest Indiana was deeply saddened to learn of the terrible incident involving a fallen tree at our Camp Cook property, resulting in serious injury to several campers and volunteers. There's nothing we take more seriously than the safety of our Girl Scouts attending camp, end quote. The camp is closed while this incident is under investigation.
The issue is not about sexual orientation. That's what the Archdiocese of Indianapolis says in a statement regarding the latest Catholic school controversy. On Sunday, Cathedral High School announced the firing of a teacher for being in a same-sex marriage. The move came after the Archbishop told the school it would no longer be recognized as a Catholic school if the teacher remained employed. The Archdiocese says all personnel inside a Catholic school are expected to abide by all church teachings. A Cathedral graduate tells RTV6 the firing does not reflect the values he learned at the school.
At Cathedral, I was told and taught to have the competency to see and the courage to act in situations where there's a lot of things involved, and I would have taken it in a different direction.
This comes days after Brebeuf Jesuit lost its official status as a Catholic school for refusing to fire a teacher who is also in a same-sex marriage. Last year, Roncalli suspended counselor Shelley Fitzgerald indefinitely because she's married to a woman. And this year, a second Roncalli counselor, Lynn Starkey, said she's losing her job because she is also married to a woman.
Parents and child advocates say Indiana needs to change the law to better protect children from bullying. One idea they're considering, fining parents of bullies up to $500. A group of concerned parents and citizens met yesterday in Fishers to talk about changing the law. Parents would only be fined after a student has been suspended in school, suspended out of school, received counseling, and performed community service.
We need to have these parents more accountable, because if they're not doing their part at home, how do they expect the schools to do their part?
The group will now take their ideas to state lawmakers who will draft legislation for the next legislative session. Several other cities and states such as New York, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania are also considering fines against the parents of bullies.
The fate of the assistant police chief in Brazil remains unknown this morning, but we are expected to learn more today. Indiana State Police arrested Dennis Archer for drunk driving early Saturday morning. State troopers say Archer had a blood alcohol content level of 0.09. The legal limit is 0.08. Brazil city officials haven't commented on the issue yet. We're told Mayor Brian Windham is expected to address the issue later this morning.
9 Indiana airports will see improvements thanks to a new grant from the Federal Aviation Administration. The airports will each share a portion of $3 million. The largest amount of funding will go to the Madison Municipal Airport, which will receive $1 million to install fencing. Airports in Indiana Indianapolis, Muncie, Peru, and Wabash will also receive a portion of the funding.
A huge honor for a Broad Ripple business. Travel and Leisure magazine named Nicey Treat as the top place in Indiana to get ice cream. That's even though Nicey Treat really specializes in popsicles with unique flavors. The popsicles come in both vegan and dairy varieties. Some of the flavors include cookie butter, banana cream, and pink lemonade. Each popsicle can be dunked in quick hardening chocolate. Nicey Treat is near the intersection of Westfield Boulevard and Guilford Avenue in Broad Ripple. It sounds really good right about now.
So good. Straight ahead, President Trump slaps Iran with hard-hitting financial sanctions. Why Iran leaders say the diplomatic path between Washington and Tehran is closed forever.
Plus, it was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime. Now 3 Americans vacationing in the Bahamas are recovering from serious injuries. Todd.
The cold front has fully made its way through the area, pushing the rain off towards the east, and a nice sunny seasonal air mass is settling into central Indiana. We'll talk all about it in your Storm Team 6 forecast. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV 6. The time now is 4:37. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Citizens Energy Group.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time now 4:40. Here's a look at I-65 just south of 38th Street. Over on the west side, traffic's moving just fine for your drive. Stay tuned. I'll point out an interstate closure you're going to want to pay attention to coming up in the next few minutes.
Elena, thank you. Senator Mitch McConnell is expected to meet with 9/11 first responders in the days ahead. The meeting, although not yet confirmed by McConnell's office, comes after a public feud with comedian Jon Stewart over the 9/11 Victim Compensation Fund. The fund is set to run out of money in December of 2020. Victims say they fear losing life-saving treatment over uncertainty that their medical bills will be paid. Stewart and advocates are urging Congress to make the fund permanent.
At the White House today, Army Staff Sergeant David G. Bellavia will become the first living Medal of Honor recipient from the Iraq War. President Trump will present the high honor. Bellavia is being honored for his heroism during a raid in November of 2004. The 5 previous Medals of Honor for the Iraq War were handed out posthumously.
Now to the latest in the showdown with Iran. New this morning on the heels of new sanctions from President Trump, Iranian officials now say the door to diplomacy is permanently closed.
As ABC's Trevor Alt reports, this is as President Trump says he wouldn't need congressional approval to launch a war with Iran.
Overnight tensions once again rising between the United States and Iran. Monday, President Trump signing an executive order for new sanctions targeting Iran's supreme leader, giving the authority to lock up billions of dollars in the Ayatollah's assets in hopes of forcing Iran to the negotiating table.
So I look forward to discussing whatever I have to discuss with anybody that wants to speak. In the meantime, who knows what's going to happen? I can only tell you we cannot ever let Iran have a nuclear weapon, and it won't happen.
So far, those new sanctions appear to have led to the opposite of their intended effect. Overnight, a spokesman for Iran's foreign ministry calling the president's order fruitless and saying the sanctions mean the permanent closure of the road of diplomacy. Iran's ambassador to the United Nations saying the U.S. has no respect for international law and order.
You cannot start a dialogue with somebody who is threatening you, who is intimidating you.
With limited options moving forward, the threat of war remains a possibility. CNN now reporting Senate Democrats are weighing a filibuster on the annual defense policy bill to try to force a vote on an amendment requiring the president get congressional approval before launching any potential attack against Iran. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the president already needs Congress to sign off on a strike, but the president telling The Hill he doesn't think so.
I like the idea of keeping Congress abreast, but I wouldn't have to do that.
Monday, the U.S. presented evidence to the UN Security Council of why they believe the drone Iran shot down last week was flying in international airspace. But Iran says they have irrefutable evidence it was in Iranian airspace, but they were kept out of Monday's meeting. Trevor Alt, ABC News, Washington.
Dozens of cars are damaged after a massive fire in California tore through a dealership lot. Authorities say it all started when cargo being hauled by a truck on a nearby highway started the fire. The fire burned at least 20 acres before reaching the CarMax dealership. 26 cars on the lot were destroyed. Another 60 were damaged. CarMax officials say more than $2 million worth of inventory was destroyed. Thankfully, despite the massive flames, no injuries to report.
A group of tourists aboard a bus in the Bahamas had to be rushed to the hospital following a crash. The bus was carrying 32 passengers from the Carnival Ecstasy cruise ship on an excursion. Carnival says 4 of the passengers had to be flown to South Florida hospitals. 3 of the passengers sustained serious injuries, including possible paralysis. The 4th patient suffered minor injuries. Officials say they are investigating what caused the crash.
Back here at home, rain and thunderstorms causing things to be put on hold over at Victory Field last night. Just take a look at this time lapse from our camera on the Salesforce Tower. You can see the dark clouds move in and the tarp on the field roll out. The downpour over the field caused a 30-minute delay in the action, but fans ended up celebrating an Indians win 3-1 over Louisville. And Todd, thankfully and hopefully that is the last of the rain that we will see for the next few days, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We only have a very small chance of rain in the forecast for the day tomorrow. And yesterday, it was dollar night at Victory Field. So during the rain delay, probably just got a $1 soft drink, $1 hot dog, and all things were good there 30 minutes later as they took back to the field. Here's a live look at Victory Field this morning and off towards the west. It's nice and quiet this morning. We've cleared a lot of the humidity out of the area. You notice the dew point's at 60 degrees right now. So it's a very, very comfortable number. Don't look so much at the percentage of humidity in the morning hours. It's always going to be a lot higher in the morning because it's relative to the temperature, which is at 62 degrees. And all across central Indiana, temperatures are in the 60s anywhere you go. 61 in Lafayette, Crawfordsville, Greencastle, Richmond, 63 degrees. Greensburg, you're sitting at a temperature of 65 degrees. So it's nice and comfortable. And with the lower humidity, the light winds, and all the sunshine that we'll see throughout the day today, we are going to see our temperatures warm very, very quickly. So already up to 70 degrees by 9 a.m. as we push into the noon hour. Our high temperature is getting up to 78 degrees, or the current temperature should be around 78 degrees by the noon hour. That was our high temperature yesterday. And then we'll continue to warm with those mostly sunny skies all the way into the low to mid 80s here later on this afternoon. Really, really just an absolutely beautiful day all across the area. You have plans this evening. You are in tip-top shape. As we work our way throughout the day today, here's a live look at Storm Team 6 radar, and you can see it's pretty quiet. The rain's gone. The clouds have pushed off towards the east to our west. There's one little cluster of storms here near Omaha. That should start to fade away, but it's not completely out of the question that some of these showers, if you look really, really close to the top of your screen here as I put it into motion, could sneak into far northern Indiana, but they should not affect us here in central Indiana. And then they go through the South Bend area. It may get a little close to Peru later on this evening, but the rest of us here in central Indiana will be completely dry throughout the day today with those sunny skies. And here is that evening forecast. The duck race in Broad Ripple rescheduled for this evening. The Indians are home once again tonight at 7:05. If you're heading to any of those events, you are in great shape. Sunset is at 9:17. Temperatures at that point will be falling back down into the low to mid 70s. Now tomorrow, we take another step forward in the temperature department. We're looking at highs tomorrow. That'll be all the way up to right around 86 degrees across the area, with skies that'll start mostly sunny, turn partly cloudy. Now tomorrow, there may be enough instability around for just a quick isolated pop-up thunderstorm across the area or shower. You notice just a couple here near Richmond and Muncie. Don't think so much of the placement. That's exactly where it's going to happen. Probably could happen anywhere across central Indiana. Just want to let you know that there could be just a quick pop-up tomorrow, but it's really, really nothing to worry about. And then look at the summertime heat that builds in as the week goes on. As we get into Friday and Saturday, high temperatures are going to be all the way up to right around 90 degrees across the area. As far as rain on the weekend, just like tomorrow, there's the chance of a stray pop-up storm just with the heat that's around, but nothing like we've been through with these waves of heavy rain that are going to last for a while. So all in all, it's a pretty good summer-like forecast, Elena, that's taking shape here across the area.
All right. Thank you, Todd. Here's a look at I-65 at the Hendricks County line. So this is up in that northwest side. You can see traffic is moving along just fine in one direction. So those are those southbound lanes. The northbound lanes are closed right now. I'll point this area out to you on our map. So all northbound lanes are closed. I-65 between 465 and I-865. So to get around, to take 465 northbound to 865 westbound. And this closure closure will continue through July 1st. So just plan ahead if you are going to go to Boone County. If you're traveling to Chicago over the weekend, might add a little bit of time to your drive. Let's take another look at the roads. This is at I-70 in the north split, so downtown. Traffic's moving along just fine. Both directions of I-70 right now as you're making your way out the door. It should be a breeze.
Elena, thank you. Teen use of electronic cigarettes has reached an epidemic proportion, and it appears some smoke shops aren't helping the issue. An undercover operation in California found half of tobacco and vape shops failed to check IDs for teens purchasing e-cigarettes and other nicotine products. Researchers sent 18 and 19-year-old decoys into stores without ID and were instructed to try and purchase vape products. Researchers found liquor stores, supermarkets, and pharmacies are significantly more likely to check for ID. According to a report released last year, nearly 40% of 12th graders now say they use e-cigarette devices.
A new study finds commonly prescribed drugs are tied to a nearly 50% higher dementia risk in older adults. The study suggests the link is strongest in drugs to treat vertigo, motion sickness, or vomiting and bladder conditions. Researchers found only an association between the drugs and dementia risk, and the study did not prove the drugs contribute to causing dementia. An editorial published with the study says more research is needed to determine if the drugs are actually a reversible risk factor for dementia. A woman and her granddaughter lucky to be alive this morning following a house fire. Straight ahead, the incredible video of their rescue that you have to see.
Plus, Metro Police warning Northeast Side residents about a strange string of thefts. Coming up at 5 o'clock, what they're taking and how you can protect your vehicle. But first,
I'm Vinny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, our continuing coverage of a capital case out of Orlando, Florida. It's Florida versus Scott Nelson. He's accused in the abduction and death of a nanny who disappeared out of Winter Park, Florida. Now, coming up today, the prosecution moving very swiftly. They could wrap their case, which at that point, the question becomes, will he or won't he? The defendant, Scott Nelson, will he take the stand in his own defense? That question may arise by the end of the day today. In the meantime, our coverage continues right here on the all-new Court TV.
And don't forget, you can watch the all-new Court TV live on your mobile device by visiting CourtTV.com. You're watching Good Morning Indiana, and we'll be right back.
Stars and Stripes event at Ashley Home Store.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time now 4:55. Here's a look on the north side, 465 Michigan Road. Traffic's moving along just fine. A lot of people out there right now for this hour, though, but again, no backups just yet.
Elena, thank you. Get inspired for some culinary and travel adventures. Today is Bourdain Day in honor of the late celebrity chef and travel show star Anthony Bourdain. Two of Bourdain's friends set his birthday, June 25th, as Bourdain Day after his death last year. Bourdain rose to become executive chef at a New York City restaurant and wrote the best-selling book, Kitchen Confidential: Adventures in the Culinary Underbelly. His friends say Bourdain Day is a great day to make plans for a trip abroad, or perhaps go out to eat at a new restaurant.
Scientists say what you are seeing is a first, a rare giant squid caught on camera for the first time in U.S. waters. The footage was captured by a team of scientists in the Gulf of Mexico. An underwater camera was outfitted with a lure to attract deep sea life. Scientists are hoping the footage of the ultra-rare creature will encourage environmental conservation.
A Missouri grandmother lost her home to a fire but is thankful to be alive, and it's all thanks to a quick-acting police officer. Body cam footage shows the moments the Hazelwood cop arrived on scene. Flames and smoke billow from the home as the officer breaks through a basement window. With the help of a neighbor, he pulls the woman and her granddaughter to safety. The house is considered a complete loss, but the woman says she is thankful for the help of her hero.
Wow. I don't know if I could smile that big after something so devastating happening. And look at those flames.
Yeah, flames coming out the window.
Incredible.
Thankful to be alive.
Yes, absolutely. And I am thankful for some sunshine today.
Yeah, you know, we're going to have it from start to finish today. It seems like we've had sunshine here and there, and then it's raining, and then it's not raining. Today, you don't have to worry about it. Great pool day. Just make sure you have the sunscreen on. You have to remember, we just went through the summer solstice on Friday when the sun's the strongest all year. So sunscreen rain needed today and really for the remainder of the week. Tomorrow, just a stray storm in the forecast, 87 degrees. That storm would be very, very isolated, though, and then near 90 as we get into Friday and Saturday. The time now is 4:57. Stay with Good Morning Indiana. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.